Welcome. I am very, very excited to be here with my longtime friend and city councilwoman for the city of Murrieta, Lori Stone. Welcome, Lori.
Thank you, Judy. I'm really excited to be here with you too.
Storytelling is one of the best parts of what we do. We talk a lot about storytelling in a lot of the ways and the things that we're involved in. But I really wanted to hear your story of how you came to the Murrieta Valley.
So my parents divorced, and my mother had a business opportunity with her lifelong friend to open up a travel agency in Hemet and in Sun City back in 1976.
When a lot of people were traveling,
A lot
that
of
was the
people,
destination
a lot
for
of
all the
snowbirds,
snowbirds. Yeah.
yes. And so my mother accepted, and we moved from Anaheim to Murrieta Hot Springs was our first home.
Ah.
And at a very young age, I had the opportunity with my mother to travel the world.
Oh,
And so I
wow.
got to
Didn't
see,
realize that.
yes, it was very, very exciting. I was one of the very first Americans in China. And when I was
Wow.
there were no modern facilities. I stayed where President Nixon had stayed. They were still in uniforms.
What a
And
change.
it was really
Yeah.
an experience that framed me in a way to advocate for the underserved was being in
Right.
that country and
And
seeing
having that
that.
world view and
hmm
not having such a very, local view that doesn't have some world experience.
Yes. Um, Spent time in Africa,
Wow.
spent all time in the Middle East and Europe, and it was an amazing experience at a very, very young age.
That's very cool. And so you stayed here in Murrieta.
hmm
What got you into business? What was your intro into the business world here in the Murrieta Valley?
So I went to Hemet High School, and they had a career day, which was ROP.
Mhm.
And I sat in on a day's worth of ROP and decided that I wanted to become a hairdresser.
Ah.
And so, as a junior and as a senior, I went to school half day. And then I went to ROP for cosmetology in the afternoon. And when I graduated high school, I actually graduated from cosmetology school. And so, while many of my friends went off to college, I started my career at
You hit the
18 years
ground
old.
running.
I hit the ground running. And my path took me into a different way. And I ended up coming back to Marietta. I had apprenticed in Orange County. My goal was to become a famous hairdresser, but
The
unfortunately,
hairdresser to the
yes,
stars.
it didn't work out. So I came back to Marietta at a very young age and went to work for my mother as an adult. And I
Mhm.
was one of the top salespeople within the cruise industry. I won cruises, I won fur coats.
You have
I
never
mean,
done anything
I
halfway.
went, yes. And so my talent of being a salesperson, my talent of understanding the chemistry of cosmetology, my boyfriend at the time's mother said, Lori, with your experience, you should open up a beauty supply because we don't have anything like that in the
Ah,
Temecula Valley.
that entrepreneurial spirit.
And so that's what I did without having any business experience,
Mhm.
without having any buying experience, or even understanding the beauty supply industry.
Right.
I decided to quit my job with my mother, and I went to work for a beauty supply for 1 year. I was very, very honest with the owner. She was out of Escondido, took
Mhm.
me under her wing, and 1 year later, I opened up my very first beauty supply salon called Looking Good, and it was off of Jefferson, and it was the Stater Brothers Shopping Center way
Yep.
back in the early 80s, which is now the bowling alley. And that was my very, very first store. I ended up opening 6 stores and then selling them. And then here I am in my new profession.
I think I remember when we moved here in 1998. Did you still have the Looking Good stores?
Yes, I sold them all in
Yeah, I
2003.
was going to say, because I
Yes.
remember going to that store by Stater Brothers.
Yes.
Wow. So an entrepreneur and then a business owner
Yes.
and then one that, exited into the next stage of your life. And what was the next
Yes.
stage of your life after you sold the stores?
So my brother, who was a pharmacist in the Temecula Valley, um, he decided that he was unhappy with graffiti in the city of Temecula. And he went before the Temecula City Council to let them know that they needed to do something about graffiti. And what does graffiti do to a community? It brings gangs. It brings a climate of
Disrepair or whatever. Yeah,
yes,
it's just a look
yes,
and a
yes.
feel. You're like, we want our city to be beautiful.
Right. And so the council members at the time disregarded his request.
I can't even imagine that now.
And so he decided to run for Temecula City Council, and he was
Yep.
a one issues candidate, and he won. And then he decided he wanted to run for county supervisor.
Yep, I remember that.
And I'll never forget, he came to me and said, would you support me and would you help me? And I was like, well, what does that mean? He goes, well, we have to walk precincts. We have to fundraise. And so it was interesting in the salon beauty supply business, we're also psychologists. We hear it all.
Oh,
We
that's
hear,
true. You hear everybody's story.
we do. We hear about infidelity. We hear about
Mhm.
domestic violence,
Mhm.
sexual assault, drug and alcohol addiction.
Right.
When I was walking precincts for Jeff at that time, I remember we're going back 20 something years ago.
Right.
We were still relatively small. Being in my own little bubble with the beauty supply and the salons, I had no idea that these issues were very prevalent outside of my
Right.
own little bubble.
Just
And we kept
yeah.
hearing about all these issues. So at that time, I put the stores up for sale. I sold them before the election. And I actually asked Jeff, I said, I would really love to be an advocate for women's issues if you were to win. And he said, if I win, I promise you, you'll have a spot on my team. And of course, he
Ah,
won. And I've been advocating for women's issues ever since. And so that's
yeah.
that's what brought me into the political arena.
And so that part of and stage of your life, you were a political consultant as well as working in this field. Can you tell us a little bit about what that's like in this valley?
So I was fundraising for my brother after he was elected and in dealing with all plethora of issues throughout Riverside County. And a city council member from the city of Murrieta took me to breakfast, and her name was Kelly Bennett.
Ah,
And
I
Kelly
Kelly.
Bennett told me that she wanted to run for judge. And she said, and I want you to consult for me. And I said, I'm not a consultant. She goes, oh, yes, you are. And so going back and forth, I never looked at myself as a consultant. She had all the faith in the world with me. She convinced me to do this. So I opened up what was called Innovative Political Solutions, and she was going to be my first candidate. And then she decided not to run. So here I am.
You're like,
I
I
have this.
have all this stuff ready to go.
I have all the stuff ready to go, and my one and only candidate decided that she wasn't going to run. So
Mm.
from there, I started networking, and then my business grew. And in November of 2024, I retired from Innovative Political Solutions.
You've been going through season after season of all these wonderful experiences. So, speaking of, what happened after you retired from Innovative Political Solutions?
So, as you know, I'm an elected official with the city of
Just
Murrieta.
decided to jump in the lake, not just
Yes.
be on the sidelines.
And then I ran for another leadership position, the county chair of the Republican Party of Riverside County, and I won. And so now I hold two leadership hats: elected official in Murrieta and the county chair.
So, tell me what you're so proud of in Murrieta. How is Murrieta innovative, being an innovative city, and what are you proud of about what you're doing there?
There was a constituent that does not live in Murrieta that contacted me actually this morning, believe it or not, and talked about Murrieta still has that hometown feel,
Yeah.
that we haven't gotten away from that with all the growth and everything that's so innovative around us, that we've maintained that
Just a fun, like,
hometown
yeah. You know your
atmosphere.
neighbors. You say, you
Exactly.
wave on the street.
Yes.
Santa Claus still drives through the town
Yes.
in his
Yes.
little sleigh.
We still do
Yeah.
hometown activities.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful amphitheater that really is the hub of our community where
Great entertainment
we
there.
have great
Yeah.
entertainment, but more importantly, we do community events.
Mhm.
And that seems to resonate with our residents. We just finished our last concert in the park series, and this year the amphitheater holds 5,000 people.
It's amazing.
Our amphitheater was so packed
Mhm.
that I guarantee you that there were thousands of people there, and we have not seen that since COVID. So it was really, really nice to see our residents coming out with their dogs, believe it or not, and children, and
Yeah.
throwing the ball at the concert, enjoying the atmosphere. The weather's been beautiful.
It
And so
has.
those are some of the things that we love about Murrieta. And then Murrieta also is very innovative when it comes to our medical industry. We have Loma Linda Hospital, we have Rancho Springs Hospital, we have a expansion of
Kaiser?
Kaiser, thank you so
Yeah.
much. We have the expansion of Kaiser in the future. And so our medical corridor is very, very important to us, besides the Innovation Center, which is under construction. And those are for startups in the medical industry. So we have a lot of things happening in Murrieta. We have the Golden Triangle, which we're waiting for the announcement from the Dominigones. What's
That is a
going
big
there?
topic
And
there.
after 20 to 30 years, finally, the last prime piece of property in Southern California is going to be a game changer, not just for Murrieta, but for the entire region. It's going to be amazing.
So I've been hearing about the Golden Triangle forever, but for those that have not, explain where that area is.
So it's the last prime piece of property between the 215 and the 15 freeway.
In that triangle,
In that
literally.
triangle right off of Murrieta
Very
Hot
prime
Springs.
property
Yes.
for
Yes,
all
it
kinds
is.
of good things to happen, and we are looking forward to hearing what
Yes.
those good things are
I'm
going to
very,
be.
very excited about what's to come.
So, what would you like to leave our listeners with to know about Lori and your current season and where you hope to go in the future?
Well, I'm hoping to retire officially.
Again,
My goal
I think
is
you're too
no,
active.
seriously, in 2028, my goal is to retire. It has been a wonderful journey in meeting amazing people from our county, to be able to call upon anyone for whatever resources
Right.
that we are lacking in our valley, not just in Murrieta. I love the fact that I have a very loud voice. I've been advocating for mental behavior health,
Yes.
and the city of Murrieta is leading that effort with regards to homelessness and mental behavior health. And I'm very proud of our city and what they are doing in combating homelessness and mental behavior health. In addition, we've been a little slow on our development, where our neighboring cities have been a lot faster in their development. I'm so glad that Murrieta has taken a slower pace to development, because now, today, we can experience what the trend is. We're not
Right.
built out yet. And
Right.
that also is going to be a major accomplishment for Murrieta. We own our own police department, so we have local control. We own
Nice.
our own fire department as well, our own library, and our own senior center. So
Very well
Murrieta,
developed city.
very well developed city. The number one complaint right now is traffic congestion. And
Always.
the city of Murrieta has been up to Sacramento several times to talk about the unfunded mandates that are imposed on the cities. And our job is to make sure that the infrastructure is put in place as we move forward, as we develop Murrieta. So that's been our number one focus right now.
Well, it has been an absolute pleasure to always talk to you. I mean, you and I could talk forever. And I am really excited to see what you get to accomplish in these next few years before you retire. Don't believe you're actually going to retire. But thank you for joining us, and thank you for letting us know a little bit more about your journey.
Thank you so much for having me, Judy. Thank you.